million longhorns running around down here just free for the taking. If they could get those cattle all the way up to Dodge City or Abilene, they were worth about $40 a head. The average cattle drive size was about 2,000 head of cattle, but the largest ever recorded was 10,683 back in 1886. Now, they only paid the cowboys about $1 a day, but if they got that great big cattle drive all the way up to Kansas, somebody made over $400,000 in 1886 for about a 7-week cattle drive. Now, if that was today, that would be more than $5 million in 50 days. You can see why they would have wanted to run those cattle up there back then. This is a 130-year-old bridge, early German. They were built around 1890. We got 3 of these on the Riverwalk. Ahead on the right, that metal thing is Father Massenet's table, completed by Rolando Briscoe in 91 to commemorate the first Catholic Mass celebrated down here about 330 years ago. We have the Old Mill Crossing area right here. Settlers would pass through here in the 1800s because the river was shallow and the ground was hard packed. It is also the site of the Nat Lewis mill that would grind grain for the settlers. Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders liked to pass through here frequently in the 1890s as well. On the right there we have the Westin Hotel. They opened in November 99. The interior features furnishings and artifacts from a 17th century European castle. So I guess it looks like a castle from the 1600s inside there. It's a nice quiet place to dine along the river as well. Up in the distance there we have the Bayer County Courthouse, finished in 1897 in its Romanesque Revival architecture style. That 8-sided neo-Gothic brick and terracotta design rises to 403 feet and has 30 floors. It was designed by the Air architectural firm. Dwight Eisenhower had an office in the building. It also housed San Antonio's first Sears Roebuck on the first 4 floors. One that opened up in June 1929, they called it the Smith-Young Building. The Smith brothers were very superstitious, so they put gargoyle monsters way up high at the very top of the building. And then about 60 feet up there, those ugly faces, those are grotesque. Those are meant to ward off evil spirits and bad business. On the right here we have the International Center. There's a boat marine in the basement. That was our Central Public Library from 1968 to 1998. Now that houses the North American Development Bank. We're going to honk the horn here. Just past this archway here, if you look to the left or south where the water drops off in the distance, that's floodgate 5. It's a 15-foot floodgate right now. Up on the bridge here we have the love locks. The tradition came from Paris. You're supposed to get a padlock and put it up there and throw the keys in the river, forever locking yourself in love. For some reason or another, there's a lot of combination locks up there nowadays. Nearly 100 years ago, September 9, 1921, a cloudburst over the Alamos Basin in San Antonio River caused flooding in the downtown area. Houston Street was under 9 feet of water. 51 people lost their lives, and there's millions of dollars in property damage. 20 years later, they finally built the Riverwalk the way it is today. A guy named Robert Huckman designed everything, and they named him Father of the Riverwalk, March 14, 1941, when they finished it up. On the right there, we have the Drury Plaza Hotel, opened in 2007. They built this footbridge up ahead in 2009. To the left of the boat, up the stone staircase and across the main plaza through the trees there, you can just barely see the San Fernando Cathedral off in the distance, the oldest church in Texas, established in 1731 by 16 families from the Canary Islands. That big tree, that's the Ben Milam tree. This is floodgate 3 here. If you look up top, there's a motor and some gearboxes. That whole wall up top comes down. It takes about 15 minutes for this floodgate to close all the way down. Up ahead on the right upstairs there we have the Esquire Tavern. They opened December 5th, 1933, the day after the end of Prohibition, with a fully stocked bar. It's also the longest bar in the Riverwalk, at over 100 feet long. Secret room in there for when that was a speakeasy during the days of Prohibition. On the left, that's where you paid your gas and electric bill back in the 20s and 30s. In 98, Jewelry Inn and Suites bought the property. Now it's a hotel. Up ahead on the right, just past the bridge here, we have the Aztec Theater, finished in 1927 as a motion picture palace. Now it's a performance venue. They've had everyone from Marilyn Manson to Snoop Dogg in there and quite a few others. They've got quite a set list starting in September. Up in the distance there, that's Bob's Bridge. That was dedicated to Robert Hugman, the father of the Riverwalk. Then ahead on the right there, we have the Alamo Hotel. They opened in 2003. Back in 1901, that was the L. Frank Saddle Company. They built saddles for Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders and Pancho Villa. By 1918, that was the largest saddle company in the world. And to the left here, this city block long building is the mansion. Just in time for the 68 World's Fair. Then in 2006, Omni acquired the property. And now they call it the mansion. Now just past this bridge here to the left of the boat, way up high in the sky. Here to the left of the boat we have the Nix Hospital. In 1930 that was the tallest and largest hospital in the United States. It's Gothic Romanesque architecture. That's the only hospital in the world with a bubblegum shrimp restaurant on the basement. Then there's a Joe's Crab Shack after that and a Landry's Seafood after that. If you need some t-shirts, there's a Hard Rock Cafe on the right, and a little bit farther up upstairs, there's a Harley Davidson t-shirt shop. And the left up there on the third floor, Alamo Sam's just opened up. Looks like there'll be a pretty good view up there. Finished in 1981. Its height was limited to only 16 stories, as to not cast a shadow on the Alamo. Right now we're about 1,000 feet west of the Alamo. If you need to get there from here, there's some glass doors just straight ahead of the boat there. Go through those glass doors. If you can make it another 300 steps, that'll get you all the way to the front door of the Alamo. Just past this bridge up here on the right, we have the Casino Club building, finished in 1927. That never was a casino, it was a social club. Then in 42, Thomas Gilcrease purchased the property. He used that for his corporate office and to house his Western art collection. Eventually moved his collection to Tulsa. Nowadays, that's an apartment building with a Saltgrass Steakhouse on river level. This is a large magnolia tree here in front of the Rainforest Cafe. I know we have a CVS on the left. Up ahead on the right behind the cypress trees there, we have the Five and Dime souvenir shop there. They have a great big selection in there of straw hats and hot sauces, rattlesnake heads, t-shirts, pocket knives, keychains, sunglasses, and whatnot. Now this is Restaurant Row right down through here. You might look around and see where you may want to eat later on. About half the restaurants on the Riverwalk are right down through here. Up on the street level through the trees there, you can see an old building. That was built back in 1891, 50 years before they built the Riverwalk. There's a gold and silver coin shop up there on street level nowadays, just in case you need some pocket change. Then just before the bridge here on the right, we have a bust sculpture of Robert Hugman there, the father of the Riverwalk. We got that mister on just right. Up ahead on the right here we have the Casa Rio. That sits on Lake granted in 1777 by the King of Spain. The Spanish colonialists, they became the core of the restaurant, and the teak-rock walls and cedar doors are still evident throughout the historic structure. They were the first down here in 46 to offer riverside and river park dining. That's probably the most affordable Mexican food restaurant down here on the Riverwalk. It's pretty good too. It's definitely way better than Taco Bell. Now to the left, that's all, and up there's the Marriott River Center. A 1,001 room hotel connected to the mall. But anyways, it sits on the site of which was once the historic Fairmount Hotel from 1906. Due to the Fairmount's historic designation, it could not be torn down, so it was free. When developers were getting ready to tear down this 3-story building that had been vacant for a number, they hooked it up to a crane named Brutus. Now, Brutus pulled it over south of the Hilton Palacio del Rio, where they set it back down on top of General Santa Anna's battle camp for the Battle of the Alamo. The locals lined the streets with lawn chairs and coolers and watched him for 6 days on his 6-block journey over there. I got them a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest building moved through city streets on pneumatic tires. 3 stories. Up ahead on the left here behind the palm trees, we have a sculpture of St. Anthony de Padua there, the patron saint of lost names and small children, for whom the city and river were named. He lived from 1195 to 1231. And on the right, you see the Tower of the Americas through the trees on the east side of Hemisphere Park. Hemisphere Park up there, that's 100 acres of beautifully maintained plant life and artwork. Children's playground, giant-sized chessboards and checkerboards up there, and some stuff that looks like Mayan or Aztec ruins, as well as the Institute of Texts and Cultures, the Autonomous University of Mexico, and the Cultural Institute of Mexico. We're entering the River Center extension here, created around 85 for the mall. There are souvenir shops on both sides of the river here. There's
We have 3 military bases here in San Antonio, and we have graduates coming out every Friday and Saturday.
So folks, up here on the right, we have another Go Rio Boat location. This spot here has frozen cocktails and ice teas and ice cream cups. Pull it over to the shops at River Center here, opened in 1988. There's about 80 stores inside here. I just passed this footbridge here on the left. We got a Margaritaville Hooters. They have a Yard House, IHOP, Chipotle, Witch Sandwiches, Pineology Pizza, Johnny Rockets Hamburger, Starbucks. There's a Dave & Buster's and a Morton Steakhouse in there. Some other fine dining establishments there in the food court area. Has anybody ever eaten a land shark before? They don't make a very good hamburger, just so you know. So they have a foreign currency exchange on the second floor here. There's a virtual reality gaming center on the third floor. There's a tea and spice exchange here on the left. There's a liquor store and a barber shop on the third floor. A Lego land and a Sea Life in there for the kids. There's the Spencer's, the Buckles, shoe stores, clothing stores, western wear, souvenir shops. A lot of candy stores and jewelry stores in the mall there. There's a movie theater inside. Plays the movie Alamo, The Price of Freedom over and over again. That has played every day since the mall opened in 1988. I got them a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest continuously running feature film. At 48 minutes long, that is said to be the most accurate portrayal of the Battle of the Alamo. So today we are on the military boat to honor our military. If you happen to have served in the military, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the boat today. Thank you for your service. We also have a subboat to honor the sun, a dove boat to symbolize peace, and a tricentennial boat. We also have a missions boat to symbolize our 5 San Antonio missions. We have the Alamo, Mission Concepcion.